WCBI News at 10 starts now.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. A Saturday afternoon car chase in Amory ends with one suspect in custody. Lieutenant Andy Long with the Amory Police Department says officers attempted to stop a suspect leaving a business on Highway 278. Long says the suspect turned on Highway 25 South and then collided with another motorist near Dan Taylor Road. The suspect then allegedly tried to run and fought officers before being taken into custody. The Amory Police Department, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and Mississippi Highway Patrol worked the case. The incident remains under investigation. A Vietnam vet tells all in a new memoir. The Tennessee Williams home played host to the Tap Code book signing. Retired Air Force Colonel Carlisle Smitty Harris tells the never-before-told details of underground operations during the Vietnam War, including his own captivity. The book also features his wife's perspective on the matter.
We're just so thrilled that this story is finally being told. There have been snippets of it told along the way, but the blending of both of their stories together, I think it also makes it a book that anybody can enjoy.
This was Colonel Harris's first stop in the Friendly City. Well, when you fly, you may find yourself peeking into the cockpit to see who's at the controls. Most of the time, it's a man. That's because women only make up 4.4% of pilots in the U.S., but our DeAndrea Turner talked with female pilots who are encouraging young women to aim high.
Elizabeth Simpson just wants to fly.
It's really adventurous, and you can feel in control of everything that you're doing.
She's only been flying for a year, but she stands on the shoulders of the women who came before her, like Starkville Mayor Lynn Spruill.
I flew off of the USS Independence in 1979.
And women like Colonel Samantha Weeks.
I was the first female solo pilot on the Thunderbirds.
These women have a place in aviation history.
So much my goal to become the first was my goal to do it. It just so happened that nobody else had done it. So it's kind of like being in the right place at the right time.
That right time was being chosen to be the first woman to fly in the Navy. She went on to qualify to be the first woman to land on an aircraft carrier.
Incredibly exciting and very fulfilling to have been able to do that.
Very few women were doing it. In fact, it was less than 1%.
Women were just not a part of a daily routine of people you see wearing pilot uniforms or, flying airplanes.
Things have changed. Just ask Colonel Weeks. She's the head of the 14th Flying Training Wing, or as people may know it here, Columbus Air Force Base.
And really it goes back to my childhood when I decided I wanted to be a fighter pilot and women weren't allowed to, and my dad actually told me girls can't do that. And so it's the boldness and the audaciousness to believe in yourself and dream big.
Boldness and audaciousness is exactly what pilot Elizabeth Simpson has.
I do like being a woman in aviation because it's very empowering.
Another dream taking flight, because that's what dreams do.
Women are slowly but surely chasing their dreams in aviation. There has been a 3.4% increase in the last 40 years.
Lots of cloud cover across the area today, and that's helping to keep us a little more on the mild side as we get into the evening. Check out these current temperatures. We're still 61 here in Columbus, 61 as well in Starkville and in Tupelo. Slightly cooler off to the west. We'll check in with Grenada. They're at 56 right now. And a lot of us are not going to go far through the day today, like I mentioned, thanks to all these clouds. This is that time lapse from Durham's Pharmacy over in Vernon. Mostly cloudy through the day, and I think that's going to stay the case overnight tonight. Lows only in the mid-50s thanks to all of that cloud cover sticking around. Can't rule out an isolated shower, but better rain chances are going to return to the forecast later in the day tomorrow into Tuesday. Might even see a few snowflakes before all is said and done. I'll break all that down for you coming up in just a few minutes. Cash.
Thank you, Trevor. Well, the House Judiciary Committee is preparing for another round of impeachment hearings tomorrow. The inquiry was set off by President Trump's July phone call with Ukraine's president. As CBS News' Nicole Killian reports from the White House, the probe is at a turning point with articles of impeachment expected to be drafted in the days ahead.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler says he expects to bring articles of impeachment against President Trump this week.
I think the case we have, if presented to a jury, would be a guilty verdict in about 3 minutes flat.
On Monday, the Judiciary Committee will formally hear from the House Intelligence Committee, with Democratic and Republican lawyers set to testify.
This is precisely the kind of conduct the founders were most concerned about when they provided the remedy of impeachment.
Intel Chairman Adam Schiff told Face the Nation that there's overwhelming evidence against the president.
That is, that a president of the United States would abuse his power to seek foreign intervention in our affairs and do so in a way that threatens the ordinary mechanism of removing a president, and that is an election.
The White House says it will sit out the hearings while the president accuses Democrats of changing the guidelines and not giving him due process.
I think he was acting on concern about Ukraine being the third most corrupt country in the world. I think he was also reflecting specific concern about this Biden connection to Burisma.
This is a kangaroo court in the House. It's going to go to the Senate. It's going to go nowhere.
Chairman Nadler did not say how many articles of impeachment would be presented, but he did suggest there may be a focus on abuse of power and possibly obstruction of Congress.
On Saturday, the House Judiciary Committee staff released a 55-page report outlining the framework to impeach President Trump. Coming up next, some tips that are sure to get your family in the holiday spirit. Mom to Mom is next. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Making ornaments is a memorable part of any person's childhood. This week on Mom to Mom, we've got a few cool ideas that'll get the whole family in the holiday spirit. Take a look.
Today on Mom to Mom, we're going to help you get into the Christmas spirit with some fun crafts that the entire family is going to enjoy. Today we're going to make finger ornaments. The best part about this is you can do it any way you want, add any colors you want, and you can give them as gifts to the grandparents or to yourself just to hang onto the tree to see how little they were. And really, it's so simple. All you use is your kids' fingers and hands. On this one, we ended up doing a handprint simply because he's so little. We just love those little handprints. Then once we did the handprint, we decorated them to turn them into snowmen with a little hat and some eyes and of course the mouth. You can do this however you want, and to top it off, you put their name on top, and then once everything's dry, you just put a ribbon on it and then hang it on your tree. I'll share these ideas and more up on our Facebook page, and as always, feel free to share your photos of your lovely ornaments that you created there as well. We'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
We're keeping our eyes on a cold front that will bring showers, much colder air, and even the chance for a few snow flurries, believe it or not. I'll break down what that means for you coming up right after this.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Clouds are continuing to filter into the area overnight tonight, and that means we're not going to be as cool as we could be, since those clouds are going to kind of act like a blanket across northeast Mississippi and west Alabama. Temperatures right now still in the 60s in Columbus, Tupelo, and West Point here in the Golden Triangle. We're just a little lower in Starkville, Oxford, and Winona, but everybody is on their way down into the low to mid 50s overnight tonight. Now, I mentioned those clouds. They're sticking around. Here's a view of that satellite and radar picture. Notice some of those thicker clouds coming in from Arkansas. Those are going to continue to filter in overnight tonight. There's been a few showers around the area. We might see a few sprinkles overnight tonight, but most of us will stay dry until late in the day on Monday. So as I mentioned, mostly cloudy tonight, maybe a shower or two. We're going to stay relatively mild with lows only in the mid 50s. Maybe some areas stay in the upper 50s overnight tonight. Tomorrow, going to be a little warmer than today, close to 70 in a lot of spots. Most of the day is just going to be overcast, but after sunset, showers are going to start to develop. Winds also picking up just a little bit, gusting out of the south at about 20 miles an hour, and that's going to help to keep us warm through the day. Now, cold front's going to approach through the day on Monday and pass overnight Monday into Tuesday. That means temperatures are taking quite the tumble. Starting out midnight Tuesday morning, temperatures in the 60s, but by the time you wake up just a few hours later, we're going to be in the 30s by 8 or 9 a.m. and then even further down from there. So that could bode to be a little on the interesting side with some precipitation sticking around. Some of that could switch over to a little bit of snow or wintry mix. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but let's start it off with Monday morning at 10 a.m. Notice clouds sticking around. Most everybody is dry. As we get into the evening, say 5 or 6 o'clock, most of us are still going to be cloudy, maybe a sprinkle or two. Most everybody staying dry, though, until well after sunset. Notice we're playing this through 7 or 8. There's some of those showers starting to develop as that cold front approaches. And then as we get into the overnight hours, there's some more showers. That's the real shower activity that's going to come late Monday into Tuesday. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm with these, but most of it is just going to be some heavy rain. Once that cold front passes through early Tuesday morning, we're now at 5 a.m., so a lot of you are starting to wake up. Colder air is going to start to rush in, but notice still a lot of areas seeing some rainfall, and that steady rain is going to last through the day. Very light rain, but with that cold air, it's not going to be any fun. It's going to be one of those drizzly, damp days, so keep that in mind. Definitely grab the umbrella and the coat through the day on Tuesday. Now, I mentioned colder air is continuing to filter in, so as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, some of this could change over to a little bit of a wintry mix. You can see that narrow band coming through 8 or 9 o'clock just north of Highway 82. The good news is all of that precipitation exits the area by Wednesday morning. So a breakdown of what we're expecting in terms of pavement temperatures. Notice pavement temperatures are staying in the 40s. That means we're not expecting any accumulation on the road. So no travel issues are expected. I say it again, no travel issues are expected. But if you're north of Highway 82, you might see some flurries, maybe even a quick dusting on elevated surfaces. Golden Triangle and south, I think you're going to stay with mostly rain, aside from maybe a flurry or two as we get past sunset. After that, we're going to stay with a mix of sun and clouds through the end of the week, maybe some more showers on Friday, but overall a really nice weekend. Temperatures back into the mid-50s to near 60 on Sunday with a mix of sun and clouds.
Trevor, is it time to get the milk and bread?
No. Please don't. Please do not get your bread or milk. That's the ongoing joke. But in all seriousness, no, nothing's going to stick to the roads. But if you're lucky, if you're looking for some snow, maybe some snow on your car hood or your patio table.
I'm definitely going to tell my Siri to remind me to get that rain jacket.
Yeah.
Those rain boots.
Yeah, you'll need it for Tuesday, not the bread or milk, though.
Okay, no bread or milk. Gotcha. All right, well, pack your cowbells and load up the car. Mississippi State is going bowling. Courtney talks the postseason when we come back.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
For the 10th consecutive season, Mississippi State is going bowling. The Bulldogs will be playing in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. This year's matchup, a familiar opponent, the Louisville Cardinals. State and Louisville, I've been living in Mississippi too long, met in the postseason in 2017 for the Gator Bowl. The Bulldogs, the winner of that contest, 31-27. The Bulldogs having just clinched bowl eligibility, winning its last game against Ole Miss 21-20, enters the postseason 6-6. MSU head coach Joe Moorhead becomes just one of two coaches in program history to secure a spot in the postseason, the first being Jackie Sherrill back in 1991-92. The Bulldogs and the Cardinals will face off on the gridiron December 30th at 3 p.m. Tonight, a brand new age began in Oxford as Ole Miss welcomed home a new leader, head coach Lane Kiffin. After spending 3 seasons as head coach of Florida Atlantic, Coach Kiffin makes his return to the SEC as the 39th head coach in Ole Miss football history. Kiffin hopped on an Ole Miss plane just one day after winning his second Conference USA title with FAU. Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter saying Kiffin checks off all the boxes the Rebels were looking for in a new leader, a commanding presence along with experience. Kiffin has worked as the offensive coordinator under Alabama head coach Nick Saban from 2014 to 2016, serving as head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers in 2009 before moving on to a head coaching job at USC. Although Kiffin greeted fans tonight, he will not be officially introduced until tomorrow, Monday at 1 p.m. WCBI Sports will be live from Oxford, bringing you all of the latest information. While one coach is in at Ole Miss, another one is out. Athletic Director Keith Carter announcing that head softball coach Mike Smith has resigned from the program. Smith has been a topic of concern for Ole Miss in 2019. He was suspended from the Rebels opening weekend in February for what the program called not meeting the university's expectations. Less than a month ago, Smith was placed on administrative leave as Ole Miss conducted a non-financial external audit. AD Carter releasing a statement saying, "We are committed to a healthy culture and overall experience for our student athletes. Our primary focus is to foster success for everyone involved in our program on and off the field while continuing our rise as one of the premier softball programs in the nation. Coach Smith helped establish our softball program as a national contender, and we wish him all the best. Smith leaves Ole Miss with 4 postseason appearances and SEC championship as well. Associate coach Felix Rubin will step in as the interim head coach. Mississippi State back home from Canada and taking on West Virginia. Those highlights when we come back. Stay with us. West Virginia in Starkville taking on the 10th ranked Bulldogs. First quarter, forward Carrie Nyblack getting the inside bucket. West Virginia with an 8-4 lead. Under a minute to go, forward Rakia Jackson laying it in. MSU taking a 12-11 lead after her bucket. And then second quarter, Jackson with the reverse and the score. The Bulldogs now up 18-15. Middle of the second, guard Kaiser Gondrezic popping up the mid-range J. West Virginia up 21-20 and under 3 in the half. Guard Kirsten Deans out on the wing, gets the 3 bucket to go. Mountaineers up 26-22. A few seconds before the break, guard Jordan Danbury, the bucket at the buzzer. Bulldogs trailing 36-28 at the break. Second half, forward Chloe Bibby from downtown pulls up and gets the shot to go. Makes it a 2-point ball game. In 2 minutes in the third quarter, Bibby from about the opposite side, same bucket, a 3-pointer. Bulldogs up 54-47. West Virginia not going anywhere. Fourth quarter, guard Tynese Martin to the rim, tying it up at 55. In mid-fourth quarter, center Jessica Carter fighting her way inside, grabs her own rebound, gets the putback, the and one foul. 59-55 MSU. The Mountaineers finishing it off. Deans from beyond the arc gets it to go. The Bulldogs fall to West Virginia 71-65. The Bulldogs' last loss at home February 14th last season against Missouri. This is Mississippi State's first back-to-back loss since 2017. Here's head coach Vic Schaefer after the game.
And that is a hard-nosed veteran team. You know, we just kind of got taken to the woodshed, really. And you know, it's a great lesson to learn. You know, when you're a coach, you've been doing it this long. I mean, you can see these things coming. Again, we're still learning. We still got so many new and inexperienced players, and that's not an excuse. There are no excuses there. We got outplayed and we got out-toughed, and you got to really tip your hat to West Virginia.
Cash, a busy weekend for sure.
Yes, and looks like you have a pretty busy day tomorrow as well.
Yes, I mentioned it earlier, but as I previously mentioned, Lane Kiffin will be having his official introduction in Oxford tomorrow for fans, and then as well he'll be meeting with the media afterwards. So we will be there all day on Monday, getting everyone prepared for the Lane Kiffin area, getting on that Lane train starting tomorrow.
Gotcha. All right. Well, sounds like a busy day. Make sure you take a rain jacket. Coming up after the break, very fascinating story. You don't want to miss it. Turns out duct tape really can be used for just about anything. We're going to have more after the break. Well, as the great Gwen Stefani once said, this is bananas. But this is a banana duct tape to a wall, which sold for $120,000. Now, it was made by Italian artist Maurizio Cattleman, who is known for his off-the-wall work. The piece is called The Comedian, and it is displayed at Miami's prestigious Art Basel art fair. And the message that the artist is trying to get across, well, it's kind of controversial. Some believe that it's kind of mocking the art industry, while others kind of think it's just fun. We don't really, I don't really know what to say, except I'm going to start taping bananas to walls.
You know, I think I have a couple oranges at home that we can get some duct tape for and put them on the wall, and we can make art ourselves.
Yeah. I think I found a new bonus stream of income, I think.
You know how a lot of people are into the side hustle nowadays?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Having a job on the side to just make a couple extra dollars for
Yeah,
their
take a look around
pocket.
downtown Columbus. You might see some fruit popping up on walls. You'll know we're responsible for it.
And it's the food that's just going bad that I don't want to waste. It's art now.
$120,000.
It's crazy. I can't believe it. Well, tomorrow is a good day to tape some fruit to walls, I guess. It is going to start to rain a little bit in the afternoon. Courtney, I think your live shots are going to be okay.
Ooh, yay.
Maybe pack the umbrella just in case, but
I know
really...
Cash got me worried there for a
Yeah,
second.
he did. He kind of went against my word, but that's okay. I think better rain chances are going to come after sunset. More rain on Tuesday with a chance for maybe a few snowflakes after sunset, but nothing too major there. Don't get your...
Okay, you heard it here first. Don't get your bread or milk. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you back here tomorrow.